A pressure is mounting on Toronto condos and prices are set to drop even further. A recent article by CP24 indicating higher inventory levels could put downward pressure on condos. For the past few years, the condo market has been pretty resilient and have shown decent growth. But now, due to factors such as economic uncertainty, lack of affordability, and high interest rate scenario, the first-time home buyers and investors are not jumping into the market. So in this video, we will be uncovering what is exactly happening in Toronto real estate market. So if you do watch this video till the end, especially if you're someone who's looking to get into the market, because being an informed buyer or even an informed seller will save you thousands of dollars. And if you get any value out of this content, then please smash the like button. And most of our viewers have not subscribed to the channel. Therefore, I request you please subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel to grow. And if you have any questions, you can book a call with me by clicking on the first link mentioned in the description below. Now let's get right into it. So first, let's understand what type of market we are exactly in, and to understand that we need to calculate month of inventory. Month of inventory is basically the absorption rate at the rate the properties are being consumed by the consumer. If the month of inventory is between 1 to 3 months, we are in a seller's market. If the month of inventory is between 4 to 6 months, we're in a balanced market. And if the month of inventory is beyond 6 months, then we're in a buyer's market. So in downtown Toronto for condos in CO1 area is basically south of Bloor Street to north of Lake Ontario, to east of Dufferin to west of Yonge Street. In this specific pocket, you can find cluster of condos. So that is why we are only calculating the month of inventory for condos, and we're looking at around 7 months of inventory. So we are definitely in buyer's market. A lot of my clients ask me that since we are in a buyer's market, why prices are still holding up, or why we're not seeing drastic downward pressure onto the prices. And one of the reasons for that is, in order to experience drastic downward pressure onto the prices, we have to remain in a buyer's market consistently for about 5 to 7 months. And for now, we have only remained in actual buyer's market for about 2 to 3 months for now. So that's why in order to experience downward pressure, we'll have to remain in a buyer's market for a longer time continuously, and then we'll start experiencing downward pressure. So we'll see how things pan out down the line. Coming back to the type of market for Greater Toronto area, for all property types, we are sitting on 4.4 months of inventory. So we are kind of in a balanced market. Now let's go ahead and check out how condos have performed in the city of Toronto, basically downtown Toronto in CO1 area, year over year and month over month. So if you notice from July of 2023 up till January of 2024, we can see quite a drastic downward pressure. And the prime reason for that is in the month of June 2023 and July 2024, this is where the Bank of Canada increased the interest rate in each of those months by 25 basis points. And because of that, we can see downward pressure. And since the beginning of this year, the prices have tended to find a baseline. And if you do a year over year comparison, that is from July 2023 to July 2024, prices have come down about by 7%. Number of sales over the same time period have increased by 10%. But it's taking more time to sell the properties over the same time period, that is from July 2023 to July 2024. And over the same timeline, the active listings have increased by 50%. That is quite a jump. So that is something we need to keep a close eye on. So if you do a month over month comparison, the prices have remained more or less flat. Number of sales have also remained flat. And the active listings have come down about by 5%. So going forward, I think the prices are going to remain where they are, or we might see a slight downward pressure. But if the number of active listings keep on increasing, then we will definitely start seeing more downward pressure for the next 4 to 6 months. But we'll have to see how things pan out. But it also depends how aggressively Bank of Canada start cutting down the rates even further. The next announcement is on September the 4th, so we'll see how things pan out. So now let's go ahead and do a quick condo occupancy analysis in downtown Toronto and CO1 area and understand who's actually trying to sell these condos. So as of second week of August, there are 1660 condos which are currently listed. And out of these 1660, 476 condos are tenanted, which are on market for sale. So this goes to show 476 condos are owned by investors who are trying to offload these condos. And the second category is vacant properties. And out of those 1616 total listings, 757 are vacant properties. And out of these 757, I'm pretty certain that majority of these condos are owned by the investors. By working on the ground level, what we notice is that most of the end users or the actual owners, they don't buy their next property without selling their existing condo, especially in this market. And we also advise them to sell their condo first and then buy their next property. So the point I'm trying to make over here is that the majority of the condo sellers right now are investors. And the fourth category we're looking at is owner occupied. So out of the 1660, 23% are actually owned by the actual owners, and they're selling their property right now. So now let's move on to the next slide, where I'm going to address to the topic of power of sales. So let's check that out. So if you notice, the power of sales peaked in the spring of 2024. And if you see from January 2023 to January 2024, the power of sales doubled, almost doubles. If you see in January 23, we were sitting at 60 to 70 power of sales listings, and in the month of January 2024 we are sitting at about 120 power of sales of listings. And from January 2024 up till spring of this year, again the power of sales have increased by 40%, give and take. So, and now going forward, we have started to notice a slight downward trend, but we'll have to see how things pan out. And I get this question a lot from a lot of my friends, family and friends, that, hey Amrit, send us a power of sale listing. Because power of sale does ring a bell of a super steal deal, but it's not always the case. So it's for sure you do get some discount. I agree with that. But that discount comes with a risk, because the clauses included by the seller or whosoever is selling the power of sale are not so favorable for the buyers. So do let me know in the comments below what you think about the power of sale. I would be curious to know. So now let's move on to the next slide, where I'll be showing you the current situation of the listings in the city. So here's the data of active listings since 2012 to 2024. And if you see in the month of July of 2024, the active listings climbed up to 1600. So this has been the highest since 2012. And if this continues to stay up for another 3-4 months or 4 to 6 months, give and take, then we will start to see more of downward pressure for condos. Or even if it stays at this level, it's going to create a downward pressure onto the condos. So what does it mean if you're a seller in this market? I would suggest, if you're a condo seller, I would suggest, if your situation allows, then wait it out, not to sell right now, and wait for some time and wait the ride. And what does it mean if you're a buyer in this market? I think there are going to be tons of good opportunities for you, especially if you're someone who has collected decent amount of down payment, because this way you'll have less exposure to debt and your monthly carrying cost would be less. But on the flip side, if you're someone who have not collected decent amount of down payment, then it's a better option for you to rent, because that's a better and a cheaper option, as opposed to getting into the market with less amount of down payment, because that way your monthly carrying cost is going to be significantly high. So now let's go ahead and check out what condos have sold at what price point. So this data is for all condos in all of Greater Toronto area. So if you see, the majority of the condos are being sold between 600 to 699 price point. So that's a competitive space. And the second busiest category has been between 500 to 599. And the number of condos sold between this category was 520. Now let's go ahead and check out what's happening in Greater Toronto area of all property types. So here we are. If we see, the market peaked in the February, March of 2022. And after that, we can see a downward pressure off to the prices, because during this time, Bank of Canada increased the interest rates multiple times. And after that, we can see market have kind of hovered along. And if we do a year-over-year comparison, the prices have stayed from kind of flat from July 2023 to July 2024 in Greater Toronto area for all property types. And let's go straight to the major highlight, that is active listings. So the active listings for the same time period have increased by 55%. So that is something interesting. And if we do month-over-month comparison, the prices have come down from June 2024 to July 2024 by 4.7%. That's about like $55,000 decrease. And if we check out the active listings have increased by about 1%. It's basically more or less flat. So going forward, again, just like downtown Toronto, the market, I think, is going to hover around at this price point, depending on what Bank of Canada decides to do with the cutting down of interest rates. And now let's quickly go through the key takeaways and my predictions. So for condo market, as I said before, they're going to be, for the next 6 months, there are going to be opportunities. You'll have many options to choose from, so that is something good. For freehold properties, right now buyers do have some options because of summer slowdown. There are decent options available for buyers, but this segment is expected to become more competitive as we approach fall season. And interest rate and market impact, so further rate cuts will improve ownership demand and will increase volume slightly. So that's pretty much for today. I hope I was able to give you some value. And also, quick reminder, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.